Welcome back to Puerto Rico Life. This is Jeff Holst. Anyway, hey, listen, I in this video I want to talk to you about what the process is like to go through the airport. Like, do you have to go through customs? What is the USDA check? All that kind of stuff. So be sure to stick around to the end because I'm going to talk first about um, what the process is like to go to Puerto Rico for a U.S. citizen, for a foreign citizen, and then on the way back, what the process is like. I've got tons of experience traveling back and forth from the mainland U.S. to Puerto Rico and a little bit of international experience. I've done it both ways. I've flown into Puerto Rico from out of the country. I've flown into Puerto Rico from the United States. I've flown to other countries from Puerto Rico directly. I've flown through the United States and to the United States. So I have a ton of experience going back and forth to Puerto Rico. I've been doing this for 3 years now. Multiple times a month. On average, I'm making about 17 or 18 trips to Puerto Rico per year. And, I realized that a lot of people, when they would come to visit me in Puerto Rico, would have questions about what they need to do, how they can get there. And so in this video, which is going to be pretty short, I'm going to go ahead and answer all of those questions, the questions that I get regularly from viewers, from the Facebook group, and also from just my friends and family that are coming to visit me. So if you're thinking about going to Puerto Rico or you're already in Puerto Rico and you want to know how the heck do I leave this place, either way, I'm going to share with you the really simple, straightforward process that you go through. Okay, so a couple of things to understand before we get into it too far. And also, by the way, I do have a little bonus footage that I'm going to stick at the end of this video of me actually going through the USDA check. And so if you want to see what that looks like, we'll do that. So that is actually probably the biggest wrinkle for most people. So make sure you stick around and hear about that. So first things first. So it is going to be a different experience for you going to Puerto Rico and back from Puerto Rico if you're a U.S. citizen versus if you're a foreign national or a non-U.S. citizen in some fashion. Now, keep in mind, people that live in Puerto Rico, people that are born in Puerto Rico, Puerto Ricans, they are U.S. citizens. So for the vast majority of the people going back and forth to Puerto Rico, they are going to be traveling under domestic flights. So if you fly from the United States mainland to Puerto Rico, if you fly from Hawaii to Puerto Rico, I don't believe there's any direct flights that do that, but if you did, if you fly from the U.S. Virgin Islands to Puerto Rico or any other U.S. territory to Puerto Rico, you do not have to clear customs. That is the good news. It is actually the same process as a domestic flight. So as long as coming up here in the future, it's not quite required yet, but as long as you have the real ID, your driver's license with real ID issued by your state, you will be able to go back and forth freely to Puerto Rico without the use of a passport and without having to go through customs and the customs process. Now, that's not to say that you never have to go through customs in Puerto Rico if you're flying from, say, the Dominican Republic, which I did recently. When you fly in from the Dominican Republic, you will go through a standard U.S. customs. Now, there's tons of content in the interwebs about how customs process works, but the short version is you have to declare anything that you're bringing in. You will then go and be examined by a customs officer, and you'll be led through that process. In Puerto Rico, it's pretty straightforward. You get off the plane, you follow the signs to immigration, to customs, border patrol, follow those signs. You walk up, you wait in a short line. You can use, if you have global entry, the global entry kiosks. If you don't have global entry, you can just wait in line and you're going to go talk to someone. You're going to need a copy of your passport to get into the United States because this is just like any other entry port to the United States. So that's the overarching theme of traveling to Puerto Rico, is that it is like the United States. In fact, it is part of the United States, according to the United States Supreme Court, and therefore, if you're traveling from some other country to Puerto Rico, you're going to go through the same customs process that you would go to if you flew to New York or San Francisco. So if you fly from the Dominican Republic to Miami, you fly from the Dominican Republic to Puerto Rico, same process. So all of that stuff is the same. Now, if you're a foreign national and you're flying into Puerto Rico from, like, say you're Dominican, or maybe you're European and you're flying because you happen to be visiting St. Lucia, you decide you want to come to Puerto Rico, that is going to be just like going into the United States. The good part about this is once you're in Puerto Rico, you're already in the United States. And so if you want to fly from San Juan to Miami, no customs. Okay. So, but be sure to stick around because there's still that FDA wrinkle that we got to address here in just a minute. Okay. So that's the overarching theme, is that if you're a US citizen traveling back and forth through the mainland, no problem. It's just like a domestic flight. If you're a foreign national traveling back and forth in the United States, it is just like a domestic flight. You will need your ID, of course. You go through that process. But flying into Puerto Rico from Miami, from New York, it's the same as flying from New York to Chicago. It's the same exact process. So, whatever that process is for you, whether you're a US citizen or not, it's going to be the same for you to fly to Puerto Rico. Now, this actually becomes an issue for some people, right? Some people are concerned about that. If you're here on a green card, for example, in the United States, or maybe you're part of the DACA, the Dreamers Act, you can't travel outside of the United States, or you risk not being allowed back in. And I've had some of these people say to me, "I can't come visit you in Puerto Rico because if I leave the United States, they might not let me back in." But the truth is, it's not leaving the United States. You don't have to worry about that. You can come and go freely. And I have a friend who is a dreamer, and he does do that. He comes to Puerto Rico regularly, back and forth to the United States mainland, and has no problems whatsoever. So hopefully that answers that question, which I do get frequently. Okay, so that's the process to get into Puerto Rico. Now, the process to get out of Puerto Rico is pretty much the same in reverse. If you're flying outside of the United States, you're going to need a passport. And you're going to clear customs in whatever country that you're flying to. So if you fly to the Dominican Republic, for example, you'll clear customs in the Dominican Republic. It's really not that complicated. However, if you are flying anywhere at all from Puerto Rico, you're going to actually have to go through this one extra step. And this is true whether you're a US citizen or whether you're a foreign national or your citizenship is held somewhere else. And that is, you're going to have to go through the USDA check. Now, the USDA check is really looking for fruits and vegetables, and really, honestly, mostly pork is what they're looking for. But it's designed to prevent tropical diseases that may be prevalent in Puerto Rico from getting to the United States food supply. So it is very much illegal to bring pork products from Puerto Rico to the United States. And as a result of that, they have a separate check where they look through your bags and say, hey, this person is not carrying a side of ham or whatever it might be. So don't bring yourself 3 pounds of bacon and put it in your carry-on or your checked luggage, because it's not going to get through. It's going to get confiscated. So here's how this works. When you pull up to the airport, you're going to walk through doors into the ticketing area, and immediately to your right and immediately to your left, in most of the terminals, some places it's only on the right, but immediately to your right, immediately to your left, you'll see a line that says USDA check, stop here first. And literally, it is an extra screening step that you have to go through prior to actually checking your bags. They're going to run your bag through an imaging device, not a metal detector, an imaging device. It goes on a belt. You're going to run your handbags, your backpack, stuff like that, through there as well. It's going to go through. It's going to come out the other side. And assuming they don't see any pork products or any vegetables or something like that in there, they're going to go ahead and put a sticker on it that says it's been inspected by the USDA. Now, those stickers are different colors on different days, and it's random, right? So, like, you can't plan it. It's not like you can just be like, oh, I already have a sticker, so I can just bypass it, because you don't know what color they're going to be looking for on what day, and it might not even be just daily. I don't really know the whole process. I think that's by design. They don't share that with us because they want to be able to see, did you actually get this bag scanned on the day that it's there, because they want to make sure that you didn't go through. Now, it's not a very long process. Occasionally, there might be a 5 or 10 minute wait in line, but it is also a process that every single person has to go through. If you go, like say you're flying Delta, like I often do, and you show up at the Delta ticketing counter to deposit your bags, and you've waited in line to check to get your printed boarding passes and all that stuff, and you're dropping your bag off, and it does not have that sticker on, they will literally send you back, and you're going to have to go through the Delta ticketing line again. That's true of all airlines. I'm not picking on Delta here. I love Delta, but I mean American, JetBlue, it doesn't matter wherever you're flying. If you don't have that sticker, they're going to send you back. You're going to have to go through the USDA, and then you're going to have to go back through the line to ticketing and to dropping your bag. So I do have a little bit of video of this process. It's pretty straightforward, so it shouldn't be too complicated, but I have a little video that I filmed, which I'm going to tag on here at the end of this from the last time I flew back from Puerto Rico. But that is the process of what it's like to go through the ticketing line. Once you drop your bags and you get your ticket, then the process is very similar to any other domestic flight. We covered this at the beginning, but they have Clear in San Juan. I mean, obviously on the way in, I can't say, it depends on where you're flying from, but they do have Clear in San Juan. So if you have Clear, you can go through the Clear line. They have a TSA pre-check line, and then they have a regular line. And pro tip here, the lines can be quite long, particularly on Sundays and Mondays, but it can be quite long any day of the week. So, and it's kind of random. It can be long at 5 in the morning. It can be long at 3 in the afternoon. Sometimes it's really short, but I've seen those waits exceed 1 hour at times, especially during the winter. So I would definitely plan extra time if you don't have TSA pre-check or you don't have Clear. If you have Clear, I've gone through, I don't know, say like 30 times in the last year with Clear. Never had a wait of more than 5 or 6 minutes. So no problem there, but you're going to have to go through security one fashion or another. So if you don't have Clear, you don't know what Clear is, you should look into that. It's just an enhanced and expedited screening process where they scan your eye retinas in order to identify you, and it allows you to get through TSA much more quickly. So anyway, that is what it's like to go through Puerto Rico back and forth. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to just put them in the comments below. And then also, I'm always interested in additional questions. Like this question here was a direct answer to several people asking me this. But in case you are wondering about something else about Puerto Rico, feel free to just go ahead and shoot me an email. The email's always in the show notes. Just put it in the comments below. I monitor those as well, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that I can to whatever extent I can for you. I'll even make a video directly for you if I can, and I love sharing that stuff. So without any further ado and any more rambling, this is the TSA pre-check video that I promised you, and thank you so much for checking it out. And as always, if you're enjoying the content, be sure to give me the thumbs up and to subscribe to the channel. Thanks so much, and have a wonderful day. All right, so we're walking in here, and the first thing you have to do when you get to the airport is you have to go through the USDA check and have your baggage scanned. So we're gonna do that now. Once you go through the USDA and have your baggage checked, they'll put a sticker on it, and that just means that you are able to go through and check your bags. And then you're going to go over to your gate, to whatever agent, like whatever ticketing agent that you need, and get your bags checked. I don't have any checked bags because I commute a lot, so I just go with a travel bag. But then after that, you're going to get in this line and go through TSA regular security. The main wrinkle, though, is just if you don't get your stickers on your bags, you can't check your bags, and they'll send you back to rescan them beforehand. So anyway, that is all I got to say about that.